Got a secret play up my sleeve, a touchdown dream you won't believe. It's the game we love the most, the most. Fantasy football, anonymous, we're the ones you can always trust.
Hello and welcome to Fantasy Football's Anonymous, where nobody stays clean because we are addicted to the NFL and fantasy football. I'm your host, Andrew, joined by my cousin, Craig, your other host. And today, the first question I have for you, Craig, is if you could have one guest on our podcast of all football history, past, present, alive, dead, who would you have on? Who would you want to talk to? And what would you want to know?
Oh, that's such a great question. There's so many great people we could have. The first one that comes to mind, I would say, is Peyton Manning. He I don't know. I think growing up with you, I think you really every time we'd play backyard football and stuff like that, you were always quarterback. I feel like I was receiver, or we do one on one. Your dad was all time quarterback, but I feel like you got me into really watching the best quarterbacks. And back then, I think I would say you and I both agreed that Peyton Manning was the best.
Yeah.
And so I think really growing up watching football, he was just someone that I loved watching. And even though he was a
A Titan
Colts and
rival.
yeah, I think I got to go with him. And also, I was watching the Manning cast last night with my wife, and we're just I at first we were watching the other what do you call it? ESPN or ABC,
Yeah,
whatever it's normally on. And I was like, oh my goodness, why are we not watching the Manning cast? And so we switched it over, and Peyton and Eli are just hilarious. I mean, I think I'd want both of them if we could, but
that would be
at least,
fun.
yeah, at least Peyton. What about you?
Man, Peyton Manning historically was one of my favorite players of all time. Loved rooting for him. I mean, until Tom Brady came here, I hated when anyone said Tom Brady was better than Peyton Manning, just because I was such a big Peyton Manning fan. But I might
Where
say,
do where do you where do you feel now? Because I remember growing up, you
man,
always said Manning was better than Brady, and then Brady wins you a Super Bowl. So
I'm a
where are you at
Tom
now?
Brady fan now. Like, I hate to
Wow.
admit it. Like when he was gonna go to a new team, I was like, I hope he fails. I hope Bill Belichick gets all the credit and he wins like 0 games on his new team. Like, I was like, I thought it was Belichick who made the teams, and I thought Tom Brady was like a incredible game manager. That's really what who won 6 Super Bowls. But like, I did not think talent wise or the culture and all that. I did not give him credit. So when he came to Tampa, I was like, I was not excited at first. I was kind of like, I think that was when Deshaun Watson was in like the trade rumors, and I wanted Deshaun Watson. So like we were gonna get Tom Brady. I was like, no, I don't want Tom Brady. And then during the offseason, all the beat writers talk him up, talk about him doing like offseason practices. I'm like, okay. And then like we get a Super Bowl, we go to the playoffs, we become a top team. He brings in Gronk and Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette, completely changes the culture. Like even now, like the culture that Tampa has probably doesn't, like, our GM is great, but I don't know if it happens without Tom Brady. So I'm a Tom Brady fan. Like, go the greatest of all time. I'm a believer. I,
That's crazy.
I think if you switch Peyton and Tom Brady, I wouldn't be surprised if Peyton Manning has more Super Bowls when he's with the Patriots. I think possibly a better actual player, but a complete new level of respect. Listening, Tom Brady did an interview after the Super Bowl, and he said that for 2 weeks his wife and kids left. And he would spend every single night, he would set a clock for how long he had to rough up the footballs before the game at the exact same time that he would be able to, in the same humidity, in the same environment, with the same equipment. And he practiced roughing up the footballs for, I don't remember if it's like 15 or 45 minutes, for 2 weeks straight at the exact same time. And for 2 weeks, all he did was study the Chiefs, the way they stood, their mannerisms, everything about them. And so there's multiple like clips of him being like he knew every blitz. And like Spagnuolo is like an incredible defensive coordinator. He confuses everyone. He's like, the announcers never know what he's doing, throws off quarterbacks and coordinators. But he was up there and he was like, they're in this coverage. Like, he just knew everything. And so that's when I was like, he is way more intelligent, way more dedicated, diligent, like, and just even just like the age. I think people don't give like LeBron James, Tom Brady enough credit for the ability to take care of their body diligently, not cheat for 20 years and not grow tired and worried. Like, I have a hard time keeping a diet for like 3 days, and to be able to
Mhm.
be that disciplined for that long is pretty incredible. So yeah, I do now say he's the greatest. And I definitely, if he had gone to
Crazy.
another team and won a Super Bowl, I probably wouldn't have, but Yeah, I became a
That's cool.
fanboy.
Okay, well, going back to your question because I kind of cut you off. So who would you want on the podcast?
Right now, probably Baker Mayfield. He's probably going to end up being my favorite player of all time if he, stays with the Bucks. But comeback win against the Falcons, loves Jesus, family guy, and I think like some of his story, I would like to. That's probably who I want to spend time with.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Okay, well, you always call me biased towards the Titans, but I will say you just talked up Brady and Baker, and if Baker was still a Brown and if Brady was still a Patriot, I think it would be different. So,
100%.
but but I agree. No, those guys are awesome.
Yeah. All right, I have a question for you. Do you
Yeah.
think your wife will ever listen to one of our episodes of our podcast? Did she listen to the first episode?
So I sent her the link a few times, and I said, "Hey, listen to it and give me your thoughts." She said, "Okay." Then a week later or a few days later, I text her and I'm like, when I was at work, I was like, "Did you ever listen to our podcast?" And she was like, "No, what platform should I listen to it on?" And I was like, "Whatever's easiest." And I still don't think she has. What about Sasha?
No way. I asked her, I was like, if I had on like your best friend or like I think if Taylor Swift came on our podcast, that's like the first podcast I've ever seen her listen to was New Heights when Taylor Swift joined the Kelsey brothers. So I mean, I don't think ever. So do
Yeah,
you think? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I sent it to my sister just to let her know like that we were doing this, and I was like, "Just a heads up, you're not gonna like it." And then she got all mad at she she got all mad at me, and she was like, "Why do you think I wouldn't like it?" And I was like, "Well, we're talking about fantasy football," and she was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yep,
Oh man, I haven't told anyone that we're doing this. My wife has told people, but I haven't told anyone. Give it a couple more
incredible.
weeks. Start
Um,
start promoting a little more.
Absolutely, yeah. I know your brother Philip. He watched it.
Yes,
And
because he asked me why I was asking him for certain things about podcasting. He's a much better podcaster than me, so yeah.
Yeah, and so I think it's pretty much within the family right now because Lisa, Philip, Sasha,
Yep.
my sister, and then I told my parents too. I sent them the link, and I was like, "You don't have to watch this, but just want you to know what we're doing." And so, of course, they watched it, or at
I'm
least
sure
some of
they
it,
did.
and they were like, "It's great." So,
Oh,
but
that's
yeah,
so fun. Well,
yeah.
hi, Aunt Christy and Uncle Charlie and Philip and anyone else from our family who's watching. Our 6 listeners. Oh man. All right. So we made some predictions last week. How did we do in our predictions? I don't remember who we picked.
All right. So, do we want to just talk about the ones we missed?
Oh, let's just start Thursday night. Did we pick the Eagles, right? Over the Cowboys.
Pick the Eagles. Yep.
How'd you feel like that game went?
So as soon as, and I'm trying to think when we filmed this and when we talked last, was Micah Parsons traded at that point?
He was not.
Because if he had been traded, I would have been so sure about the Eagles, wouldn't have even thought twice. Um, Micah Parsons looked good for the Packers, by the way, which we can talk about later. But CeeDee Lamb with those drops. Also, if we want to talk fantasy, I've got AJ Brown in so many leagues, and
Oof.
he let me down.
That was a tough week for him.
And as an AJ Brown fan, yeah, that was really rough. Jalen looked good though.
Well, so the Cowboys played cover. They basically bracketed Devontae Smith and AJ Brown on every single play, and were like, throw it to Dallas Goedert, Jahan Dotson, or run it. And like they committed to stopping the run and taking away those two. And so that's why you had Dotson going deep. Dallas Goedert had a bunch of catches. What did he have? Like 6 or 7 catches.
Yeah, something like that.
That was the game plan. Okay, so we
Yeah.
were 1-0 to start.
Yep.
Who did we? I don't remember. Did we pick the Chargers or the Chiefs?
So this one we went back and forth on. I feel like I had originally said the Chargers,
I
not to
think
throw
so.
you under the bus, but I think I said Chargers, and you said Mahomes is gonna like come back for revenge.
Yeah.
We chose the Chiefs.
So I chose the Chiefs.
Yep, but
So
we did it together.
all right.
And honestly, it was a great game.
Do the Chiefs win if Xavier Worthy doesn't get decked by Travis Kelce?
I don't know. Justin Herbert looked great.
Justin Herbert looked incredible. The
Yeah.
offense looked incredible. He looked confident. Play calls were aggressive. Chargers look good.
They really do. It's incredible.
All right.
Okay,
What's the next game?
so the next game was your team, at least from what I'm reading. So,
Yeah.
and that was a close one. So I feel like I should talk about this first since that's
for
your
it.
team and your bias. But it looked like coming up down to the wire, it was either going to go to overtime or I thought the Falcons had a good chance to win. And well, shout out to
Yeah.
Mika first off, and that just know his trade value just went up, and it's gonna be tough for whoever wants to get him. My friend
Oh,
Shaq,
man.
he told me because he knows that you're trying to get him, and he was like, "All right, that's at least 3 firsts now." And I was like, "Oh yeah, easily."
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, what are your thoughts?
Uh,
What are your thoughts on the game?
I, I think the Bucks started very bad. Baker was like 1 of 7, I think, his first 7 passes, and run game looked bad. We completely changed our offensive line. I don't know if you saw that. Our center was our left tackle. Our practice squad guy was left guard, and our left guard was our center. So yeah, started slow. I think our offense kind of got in a groove. Offense coordinator's first time calling plays. Baker Mayfield didn't play in the preseason. I think second half on offense looked good. Defense, pretty much besides the first big play to Bijan, looked really, really good. Got pressure. So
What do
I
you think about Michael Penix?
he stands in the pocket with pressure and doesn't get rattled. He's like the opposite of Caleb Williams. And like Caleb Williams is always trying to make people miss and make extra things. He just stood there and like got blasted. We picked up like 3, I think, roughing the passers where he just got blasted. And he was playing without Mooney, and then Drake London got hurt in the 4th. So he was down to like practice squatters and Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, it seems like the Falcons made the right choice drafting him and moving on from Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins.
I don't think he's like one of those move the needle, can make a team. Like he's a Jared Goff tier
Mm-mm.
type player. Like good offensive line, good weapons, good scheme. He's going to be excellent on time, make the right reads. He's tough, but he's not going to be Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or Patrick Mahomes, or like create and kind of carry. So
Yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah, he's going to do what they need.
Yep.
And that offense too. I mean, if Kyle Pitts can keep looking good and Bijan and Drake London, I mean, I think they've got a solid offense. Okay, so next was the Bengals and the Browns. We chose the Bengals. The Bengals barely scraped by, but they won.
We did say we thought that there was a good chance the Browns could upset them just because the Bengals are. I saw something. It was Joe Burrow's 1-9 his first 2 weeks of the season heading
Yep,
into this. So like he's just not, doesn't start fast, but they pulled it out.
they did. Okay, and then I guess quick thing we can touch on with that game is Jamar Chase, fantasy,
His
not a
trade
great
value's
week.
down, right? So now you'll give him to me for a couple seconds.
Absolutely not. But yeah. Okay, next one. This one, I don't even know if we should talk about it because it's a rival to the Titans, but Colts and Dolphins,
Oh my goodness.
Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones. I mean, the Dolphins looked terrible. Like, the Colts were fine and were good, but I think the Dolphins looked like the worst team in football, maybe.
Yep, agreed. There's a guy that I work with, and he was talking about them as I was leaving today about Mike McDaniel, and I guess he had a speech with the players or something. But I'm like, man, I thought being a Titans fan was bad, but I think this past week, I think it's probably the worst to be a Dolphins fan. That was just rough.
Yeah, the Dolphins were thinking they're not rebuilding, just drafted a quarterback. They're like, we made the playoffs a couple times. If Tua doesn't get hurt, no, they
We're
look
good.
bad. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, next up, Jacksonville and Carolina.
That was a weird game because it had like the delay and just was like a weird feel to the game. What
Yep,
did you think? Did we pick Jacksonville?
we did. We chose
Okay.
Jacksonville. Um, I wonder if you pushed on that because I feel like I
I
was
did.
thinking Panthers, but then
Uh-huh.
you mentioned like Liam Cohen and stuff. Um, yeah, so so far we've missed on the Chiefs game because we chose the Chiefs and we chose the Dolphins over the Colts.
Oof.
So two losses that we missed on there. But I mean, I think everyone was shocked by the Colts.
At least that's bad, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Then we had this one. I thought we chose New England, but we chose the Raiders. So I don't know who it was that got us to go that way, but we chose the Raiders over New
I think
England.
you said Raiders. I said I wasn't sure until we stuck with Raiders.
Okay. Well, what do you think about Genty?
He looked fine. Like he's not. I don't think he's gonna put up crazy fantasy numbers just because of they don't have wide receivers that you're scared of the deep ball. They don't have. They can kind of put 8 people in the box, and like Brock Bowers is their biggest threat. Jacoby Myers isn't a deep threat. Like nobody's really worried about someone kind of
Yeah.
going over. So
Crazy thing was, I think when we recorded this episode, I don't think they had picked up Amari Cooper yet. And now he's already retired. And so
yeah,
it's
he
just
didn't even
crazy.
play. He was like
Nope.
2 days or something. Yeah.
Yep. Crazy. Okay, we'll go quick through the last few. We hit on the next few. So we chose the Cardinals over the Saints. That one's not too much of a shocker.
Nope.
Although that was a close game. We chose Pittsburgh over the Jets.
I can't believe the Jets scored 32 points. I don't know if either the Pittsburgh defense is not as good as I thought, or if they're going to have an incredible offense with Justin Fields, but I could not believe they scored 32 points.
Crazy. All right, then the Giants and Washington. We chose the Giants. And that one, I remember us thinking that was one of our hot takes. Remember we talked about the pass rush of the
Okay.
Giants, and yeah, I that was one where I think I came in saying I feel like that's going to be an upset of the week,
Okay, that's what I
you
remember.
and then you echoed it too because you were like, yes, the pass rush, and then we were pretty locked in of like, wow, I think we just called that upset.
Okay.
No, we were way off.
I did not
Um,
remember that us picking that. I knew the pass rushers looked good, and the pass rush did look good, but
yeah.
not.
Next one, we chose Tennessee. I can't believe you chose Tennessee. I tried to tell you not to.
It
But
was a lot closer than I said.
yeah, and I mean, we
Okay,
got to talk about them for a
how'd you
second.
okay, you go ahead. How'd you feel watching the Titans game?
All right. So a few thoughts. Number one, Cam Ward is the real deal. I He was spot on every target. He looked so calm. Like going against the Denver defense in Denver, like he looked so confident, so calm.
If his receivers don't drop the ball in the fourth quarter, you guys win.
Yep. If they didn't drop every single pass, if our head coach knew when to challenge and how to coach,
Ugh.
and that's the issue that I have is I'm still trying to figure out Brian Callahan because he never called the plays with the Bengals. He was the offensive coordinator, but Zach Taylor called the plays. Then he comes to Tennessee and decides I'm going to be a head coach and a first time play caller. And I just don't love that. So he's trying to manage the game. And also he doesn't know the rule book. I don't know if you saw that, but like
I
someone
didn't.
asked him afterwards,
No,
you didn't,
no.
you said?
No, I
Yeah.
didn't. What happened?
So one of our sports writers asked him after the game. They said, "Hey, why didn't you challenge?" Because there was a play where Alec Ayumana, or however you say his name, he had an amazing catch and he had an elbow in, and the sports writer said, "Hey, Coach Callie, why didn't you challenge that?" And Coach Callie was like, "Oh, he had an elbow in, like he wasn't in." And the sports writer like basically goes on to correct him and it says like, "Yeah, if he has
That's
an elbow
in.
in, like
You're
that's in."
down.
Yeah. And so Coach Callie literally thought that was out. And so it's like not
Ugh.
only is that a bad look on him, but also
Oh yeah.
like the guys upstairs, like whoever's like talking to his headset should have said,
Does he
"Hey,
have an analytics guy who tells him when to challenge and when to do all that kind of stuff?
yeah, I think he does." And so that's concerning. He chose to, we're pinned up on our end zone going, I think it was going into halftime or something. And like he just made some poor decisions on what we were doing.
Yeah.
So anyway, we could have won that game with better coaching and if our receivers caught the ball. But you were right. Denver did win. I ended up choosing Tennessee, but
I knew that. I mean,
yeah.
you got your defense looked very
Oh
very
my
good.
goodness.
Your offensive line looked good. Denver had the most sacks last season, and
They did have 6 on us.
I guess I didn't watch enough of the game.
Yeah, 6 is bad, but I will say,
You guys don't have anyone getting open.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
and that was the issue. Tajay Spears is out right now. I think when he comes back, that's going to help. But we don't have Derrick Henry anymore. We don't have AJ Brown.
You need a wide receiver one.
Yep. And the good thing is, and we'll move on because I know we don't want to talk about the Titans all day, but I think we've got our guy at quarterback, and I think now we can build around him.
I
And
agree.
every other year, we never have our quarterback, so we have to keep finding quarterbacks. And now
And he's
we've
on a
got our
rookie
guy.
deal, so you can spend
Yep.
some money.
Yep. So we got to go get somebody. Maybe next week I'll think of some hot takes on who I think we'll get. But yeah, I'm not saying that I still think there's potential for us to make playoffs this year because I don't want to overreact after week 1. But I'll say if we don't make the playoffs, it's because of Coach Callie. It's not because of Cam Ward.
I would agree with that. At least after week 1, like
Yeah.
that's like probably the second best or the best defense in football. And
Yep.
he
He
didn't
looked
turn the ball
so
over.
calm. Nope. And he was putting the ball right in the receiver's hands.
I saw. I mean, there were times the receivers looked like they didn't expect the ball to come and were like
Yep.
surprised by how well it was placed.
So good.
Oh
Okay.
man.
Next
else
up,
we got?
we chose SF over Seattle, so we got that one. We got the 49ers. Not shocking there.
And you called the injuries. Remember how you said that? Like they always seem to get hurt. And then we have George Kittle out for 3 to 5 weeks. Brock Purdy, who might not play. Jennings is out. Just brutal.
It's so bad. I hate that.
I don't even
Okay,
understand.
this next one, we chose Detroit. I'm pretty sure we almost chose Green Bay because I feel like we talked about this for a while and we just thought Detroit was such a juggernaut. But I don't know. I think after week
I think
1, and
I think if we had known Micah Parsons trade, maybe we changed our mind.
for sure, because I think I think after week 1, and we can talk about this after all the games, but the Packers to me look like possibly the NFC team outside of that Vikings game was insane too.
Oh man. Okay, so I got a question then. So the Lions, they lose their coordinator, which we said might not affect them as much. Dan Campbell, they both starting guards, they couldn't run the ball against a
Yep.
team who just lost Kenny Clark. Michael Parsons didn't barely played, honestly, and isn't going to stop the run. And they just didn't look like themselves. And they got into Jared Goff throwing the ball all over, no play action. I mean, the Green Bay doesn't have Jair Alexander. Like I was surprised. They did not look
No.
like the Lions.
I saw like a meme. I don't know if you've seen the commercials with Dan Campbell with Applebee's, but they were like it was like a clip of him at Applebee's, and it's like when you lose your 2 coordinators, and just how he's ended up there. But I think, yeah, we asked the question last week, was it going to hurt the Lions more than it was going to help the Bears? And I think our question got answered week 1. It feels like it hurt the Lions pretty bad, and the Bears looked good,
I
but
agree.
JJ McCarthy, I mean, my goodness,
Yeah.
that blew my mind. Okay, so we talked about that one. So we missed on that game. We said Detroit Packers won. Next game, we said the Rams, and they beat the Texans. It was a close game, but they beat them.
That was
Next,
a wildly weird game. 9-14. Neither offense, like
no,
both offensive lines and both offenses just did not look great.
no. And then so this next game,
Bills
I don't
Ravens.
the last 2 games, I don't know which one was game of the week for me. I mean, it probably has to be the Bills Ravens
Oh,
because
it
that was just
definitely that's the best
out.
week one game like ever. That was
Yeah,
incredible.
that was legendary. We chose the Ravens over the Bills,
I
and
I'm okay with
we
that.
yep, and I think we easily should have won that had it not been for Derek fumble. No, I'm kidding. I can't put it all on him because he also is the reason they were in that winning that game.
Yeah.
But
Those I think those are the two best teams in football.
it's
Like,
insane.
and I think it's the two best quarterbacks in football.
Yep.
Like, not the
And the issue is they're going to have to face each other like AFC Championship again, like last year,
I
and
know.
only one of them goes.
I
And
hope one of them is the 1 seed so that Mahomes doesn't have to only play one of them. He has to beat both of them. Because, like, they had to
yes,
play each other last year and maybe 2 years ago. But
that's right.
I think I want him to have to beat the Bills and the Ravens. I don't know if this year.
If
I
he can
guess
do
we'll
that.
see. If Hollywood, he's going to have Worthy probably back, Rice back. Offense will probably be better, but still.
Yeah, it's insane. Okay, last game of the week, and then we'll move on to the next section. But Minnesota and Chicago,
We picked
that
Minnesota, right?
we picked Minnesota, and my goodness, the Bears looked good. Like Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams. That looks like that's going to be a great combo.
I agree. Vikings are probably actually the best defense in football. And
Yep.
Caleb Williams, he didn't turn the ball over. He didn't take stupid sacks. I think if he does that most weeks, they're going to win.
Yeah, they looked like an incredible team. I just think the Vikings, my goodness, Kevin O'Connell and JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy in the beginning, I was literally watching the game and like with Lisa, and I'm like, he's terrible. Like they literally moved on from Sam Darnold thinking this is their guy. And I mean, next thing you know, he looked so calm too, like and just made that comeback.
Listen, he's going to get Jordan Addison back in 2 weeks. Their best offensive lineman, Christian Darshow, left tackle, will be back maybe this week. I think you see a much different team on offense. I think they're more aggressive. I think he's able to stay in the pocket longer. I
Yep.
think defenses can't load up for the run if you have Addison and Jefferson. I think they will only improve from here. And the defense
Yep.
again looks just incredible.
Incredible. Yeah. Fun week 1. That was awesome.
Absolutely. All right. So I got a couple things to talk about. First, who are your studs and duds from week 1 of fantasy? Give me a few
Studs.
studs and a few duds. Not like, well, Bijan Robinson was a top 5 fantasy running back scorer. Who are the studs that you were like, hey, I either saw this coming or thought the opposite and won me a league or cost me a game?
All right. First stud that we have to talk about is Quentin Johnson. We have to give the man credit. Um,
Was he as good as we think, or was it because he got 2 touchdowns and we're inflating his numbers because of that?
I think the 2 touchdowns do inflate it because when you're watching the game, I mean, Herbert threw incredible passes, but Quentin did what he should have been doing all along. Like I think what everyone thought he was going to do, and he's
Mhm.
just been the man of drops. But I mean, this past week you had CeeDee Lamb dropping passes. So I think if you want to go on the flip side, a
Justin
dud.
Jefferson was dropping passes.
Yep. And then you've got Calvin Ridley for the Titans. Like, I hate to say it, but I mean, my goodness, he was a dud.
Completely different class. That's like you got to go
Yeah.
4 tiers down there, but okay.
Yeah. So if we're gonna say stud and dud, I'd say a stud would be Quentin Johnson. But yeah, the question is that a week one outlier? Is that Justin
If I
Herbert?
had him in any dynasty or fantasy league, I would probably trade him because I think Keenan Allen, Lad McConkey are going to get more targets every week, probably more touchdowns, and I think those could be the only 2 touchdowns he gets. He is a bigger target, but
And
I think
you
he only
know
had
that
5 catches. So Keenan and Lad out targeted him.
they did, and that's an issue for me with Lad. I was really high on him, and now Keenan is still in some of those shares, and that makes me nervous. The good thing is we don't know how long that'll last. You know, is that a year?
It's a year. So Dynasty, I don't think it changes his value dramatically. If you drafted him in a redraft league, he's no longer a wide receiver 1. He's probably a wide receiver 2 at best.
Yep, yep.
Chiefs
So,
were doubling him most plays. So I think more of the stuff was drawn up for him. I think he's still going to be a wide receiver 2, but I don't remember what he finished last year. Maybe like 14, something like that. I think he's probably close to there.
huh. Okay, so that's my first stud and dud. So QJ stud dud was
Uh,
CeeDee Lamb. That may be a stretch, but
Yeah, he still scored like 18 points, but
he did
he
still
had
score well. But
he had 4 drops. Now he has been more prone to drops. He's not Justin Jefferson or Larry Fitzgerald by any means. He's after the catch, kind of more of like a creating separation type guy than a high point whatever. But I mean, he probably left 10 fantasy points or more out there for those drops. And it probably
yeah,
cost the team the game.
yeah, I agree. And I think there was a few receivers this week that did that, which is crazy.
Week 1 offenses are usually slower, defenses are usually better. That's just kind of normal. If across fantasy, most teams, if you look back, week 1 is not the high scoring for any leagues. It's the middle of the season, not the end of the season, but the middle of the season when teams kind of hit their peak in offense. All right, let's go some deep dives. What do you think about Harold Fannin, the tight end for the Browns? So I was go ahead.
No. I want to hear what you were going to say.
So I was a huge fan of his analytical profile coming out for dynasty leagues and also the value. I thought he was someone I pretty much tried to target in every league, and I wanted him as much as possible because I'm thinking he's got 1 year kind of behind Njoku, and then he's going to be the kind of tight end who can catch, just get targets and volume. It's what he did in college and all that. But I did not think this season, did not start him in any leagues. Week 1, he gets 9 targets, 7 catches, plays 60-70% of the snaps.
Yep.
If you have a dynasty league and you didn't draft him, you might have missed your window. But that was a stud for me that I was very happy to see.
Yeah, that's a great point. And in a redraft league, you can probably get him in some leagues because I was just looking which I don't remember what my number was last week when we talked, but I'm in 14 leagues right now, and
what was your record
of most so I went 7-7. I won 7, lost 7. So
very nice.
Yep, and one of those losses was to Lisa. So we have some friends of ours. It's like a small league, an 8-person league of people here that live nearby, and so she's in it, and yeah, she dominated me. But a lot of these leagues, these redraft leagues that I'm in, Harold Fannin was one of the people that I picked up. So I feel pretty confident. If you're in a redraft league, you can pick him up. If you're in a dynasty, yeah, it's probably way too late.
I drafted David Njoku in a couple of redraft leagues because I thought he's going to be top 5, top 6 fantasy probably score this week if Joe Flacco stays. He's going to get a lot of targets. Joe Flacco's going to sling the ball. They threw the ball 45 times week 1. I thought he'd be a good value. Now, I don't know. Got this young guy. We'll see.
It's crazy. Which, speaking of tight ends, Tyler Warren.
That was another one of my studs. I regret every league I didn't draft him in at this point for Dynasty and redraft. He looks like he's going to be a focal point, and then he's got Danny Dimes. My biggest concern was if Anthony Richardson's the quarterback, there's nobody who I want to trust to catch passes. Daniel Jones is a competent quarterback, and with a good offensive line, some decent weapons, Tyler Warren.
Agreed. So between him and Loveland and Fannin, who do you think is going to have the best all-time career?
All-time career. purely from a fantasy, I can't tell you after week 1. I don't know. So I like value. So for me in dynasty leagues, I'm thinking Fannin is the best value because I can draft him in the 4th or 5th round and get, possibly low end tight end 1,
Yeah.
production in a couple years. To me, that's good value. Tyler Warren's going middle of the first round. Loveland's going middle of the first round. So I thought Ben Johnson being his coordinator, Colson Loveland might pull a Brock Bowers and make Cole Kmet, Michael Mayer, and put up a great season. Now I'm thinking it's definitely gonna be Tyler. Tyler Warren probably is the most this year.
Yep.
Career, man, I don't know. Who do you
Yeah.
think? Who's gonna have the best career? Tell me who's going to the Hall of Fame.
I think Gunnar Helm.
Oh my
He.
gosh, you're hilarious.
Yeah.
Did he catch the
That's
ball or did he also drop it?
he did. I think he got one catch. And we were pumped because one of my friends, Tyler, he always does a bet almost every Titans game. He does like a $1 or $5 bet on the first touchdown scorer, and he always chooses a tight end because 9 times out of 10, our first touchdown scorer is the tight end.
That's so funny.
So we were rooting for Gunnar Helm, but he did not score that week. But yeah, no, Harold Fannin, that's a good pick.
All right, I got a couple more. We'll go studs. Justin Fields, week 1 against a defense who I thought would be a top 3 defense. He ran 2 touchdowns, threw another one, was like a top 5 quarterback. I drafted him in, I think, every redraft league I was in, mostly as a quarterback 2, because I was like, he's going to run. He always ends up, like, on a per week basis for his career, he's close to a quarterback 1. So he's my bye week guy. Now I'm like, man, he might be better than. We'll see, but the offense looked really competent and looked really good. Offensive line looked good. Breece Hall, that's another one. Breece Hall looked like rookie year Breece Hall flying through the line. Maybe that's another stud. What did you think about the whole Jets offense?
Yeah, I was impressed. I thought for sure they were going to be Aaron Rodgers, and what a great week 1 matchup to put Aaron Rodgers against his old team and Justin Fields against his
That
old
is
team.
true.
Like, I'm like, wow, they couldn't have planned that better.
NFL script writers are pretty good.
Yeah, and it was a solid game. I think I still think Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but I was like, okay, has he fallen off? Like Russell Wilson for me, I would say he's fallen off. I personally think that. And Aaron Rodgers, it's like, okay, he's the oldest player in the league. Is this his time? Because at any moment he could just completely fall off.
Yeah. So
and yeah,
I would say if Aaron Rodgers went to the team that Tom Brady went to in Tampa, where he has a top 5 offensive line and 3 Hall of Fame wide receivers or tight ends, you know what I mean? Like, he's not mobile like he used to be. He kind of has to win in the pocket and with his mind. But with those weapons, I think he could have been a Super Bowl threat again. So I don't think he's done. But it's hard when you are that old and not as mobile as you used to be to not have an offensive line that can protect you.
agreed.
So.
Agreed. Yeah, but no, it was a good week for both of them against their former teams, and Justin Fields surprised me. I feel like you and a few other people that I know were high on him and drafting him, and he was one that I was nervous about. So I don't think I have a single share of Justin Fields. But I kind of wish I had at this point. So
Yeah. All right, I got another one that I drafted in most leagues, Javonte Williams, because I
okay.
was able to draft
Yes.
him in like almost the last round. And I was like, if he becomes the RB1 on a competent offense, he could give you, flex. And he got 71% of the snaps, scored a touchdown against a good defense.
Yeah. No, he looked good. I'm in a league where it's a dynasty league and it's a rebuild for me. I'm like one of the worst teams in the league, and there's another guy in that league that is also one of the worst teams in the league, and I'm in a group text with him and my friend Shaq, and he texted when Javonte scored because he got him. That's like, I mean, his team's pretty bad, but he had him in his starting lineup, and he was like, Javonte, he's like, see, I'm gonna win the league now. And I'm like, I mean, you could, players like that you get later can be a game changer and can be a league winner.
Yeah.
Amika for me I've got him in a few leagues, and I'm like, I got him so late that it's not a game winner, but it could be if he keeps going off like that. I mean, it's incredible.
I didn't draft him in a single league because I'm in Florida and everyone I play with likes Amika, likes the Bucks, and so he went like in our family league, he went in like the 4th round. You know what I mean? So there was no value.
Your mom.
Yeah. But I, in general, would agree Amika is going to be a league winner. I mean, if Godwin doesn't come back and take the wide receiver two role, he's gonna have like our offense is more geared to the slot receiver, into the short, intermediate, across the middle. It's not
Mhm.
exactly Mike Evans' bread and butter. He could outscore Mike Evans. We'll see
Yep.
what happens when Godwin comes back, but yeah.
Yeah, I picked up Godwin in a few redraft leagues. I took him as late as I possibly could. Like he kept falling and falling and
Yeah.
falling because he's injured, and I stashed him because I was like, in the off chance Amika's not as good as we think he could be, or if he comes back and replaces
Yeah.
him, or whatever. Um, so he's someone like I like stashing guys like that could come back
Same.
and um,
Do you have Rasheed Rice in any leagues or Jordan Addison?
I have Jordan Addison in quite a few. I don't have Rice in any. I have Brandon Ayuk. He's out, right? I think he's out a few more weeks or so. I've got him in a few. But yeah,
Right. A.K. Dobbins, what do you think about him?
he is really upsetting me. I took RJ Harvey in just about every league that I'm in.
Yeah.
Um, now RJ Harvey had a great I want to say 50-yard run against us, and that
Yeah.
was about all he did was that one
Yeah.
run, and that was about it. Um, J.K. Dobbins is kind of frustrating me because I don't have him. Actually, I've got him in one league, but I'm in 14, so I better have him in one. But I've got him in one league, but I've got RJ in probably at least 7 or 8. And a good thing is for Dynasty, he's got time. And and so I think that still gives him hope. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
Dobbins looked good.
I'm trying to trade him in every single league I have him in.
You're trying to trade RJ or Dobbins?
Dobbins after week 1 because
That's a good
la-
time.
okay, let's talk about this before. Yeah, we'll go ahead and talk about this. I think week 1 in any redraft league is when you should make as many trades as possible, because unlike Dynasty, you value it different. The player's value immediately changes pretty much dramatically after week 1. I think it's besides waiver wire, I think the biggest way you can win in your fantasy league is making as many trades as possible as soon as week 1 ends, before anyone has a chance to think. But like, if you had AJ Brown and you lost to me because of J.K. Dobbins and Javonte Williams, and your running backs were Omarion Hampton or anyone else, and I offered you Dobbins for AJ Brown,
I'd consider it.
you're considering it, which is, as we are
Crazy.
more, as a dynasty person, you're like, that's Dobbins has almost no value unless I'm a contender and I just lost, Xavier Worthy or whatever. But
Yep.
in redraft leagues after week 1, it's like, is AJ Brown, is this what he's going to be all year?
Yeah.
And is this what Dobbins is going to be all year? So I think immediately targeting all of the duds week 1 and trading away all of the studs week 1 is probably your best bet in almost every redraft league as possible.
It's so true. Yeah, no, that's a great point. For people, especially if you're in a money league, you've got
You
to
get
be active, you
and
know.
you get stressed in a money league after week 1. If you're the low scorer, like there are teams that I've had that week 1 scored 60 fantasy points and I won the league just because, it's a fluke. You start off slow, whatever happens, right? But
Yep.
most people think, I'm about to lose my $30.
Mhm.
I got to make a move right now. This guy
Yep.
scored a ton of points. I need those points. This guy I'm done with. So
Yep. No, that's so true.
you don't make a
Well,
lot of trades for
I
14
do.
leagues.
So that's my issue, and I was talking to Lisa about this. I'm like, it is so hard to manage 14 leagues and do my full-time job and,
Have a baby.
be there with my family. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And like do things around the house and still have a life. And so I really, every year I say I want to get down to a few leagues so I can just really enjoy those and like actually be active. And I am pretty active in my leagues. I've got of my 14, depending on if it's a money league or not, like my priority. And so my higher priority ones, I am making trades frequently, or if someone like you or someone is sending me a trade, I'm considering it. I'm sending counters, but
At this
definitely not
point,
as active as you are.
do you consider any trades I send? Like actually consider, or are you just like
it's
immediately no?
It's you and Shaq, which we should get Shaq on in a
Mhm.
second, and see if he's free to chat because I got some questions for him too. But you and him are very similar to me. Of like, if it's a trade coming from you or him or even my friend Nick, I'm like, okay, this is going to benefit. Like the reason they're sending me this is because it's going to benefit them, which means it's going to hurt me. So like, I go into it with a filter, over it. And then if it's a player that plays for the Bucks, it's like, okay, well, the
That's what I'm
value
saying.
has to be even higher.
The trade offer I sent you and keep trade cut for Emeka, it said suggested adding Jameer Gibbs to your side to make it an even trade, and you were like,
Yep. And hey, was I wrong?
yes, you're
Uh,
still wrong.
if we're reacting after week 1, I think Amika looks like the second coming. He looks
The
incredible.
second coming.
He
I
looks
don't know
like the
about
next
that.
Jamar Chase.
Oh man. I hope
No,
so. I hope so.
I think Malik Neighbors also looked good. If we want to talk about him for a second,
He got
Russell
plenty of
Wilson looked
targets.
bad. Yep.
Yeah.
I think Jackson Dart's going to start soon. Possibly week 2. I could.
I I don't think that's helpful for Malik Neighbors.
You don't think so?
No. He got
I
11 targets week 1 and there were 2 of them that if he had come down with, he scored a lot more fantasy points. He just didn't come down with.
Yeah, I think anything's better than Russell Wilson, but 11 targets is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Why are you so down on Russell Wilson? I just want to hear.
Okay, so
And what would
I
Jackson
didn't.
Dart bring that he doesn't have?
So those are great questions. I think, to be honest, I didn't watch all of the Giants game. I watched highlights and
Nobody did.
recaps. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so true. And I think, like, I don't know, it just feels like Russ has lost a step. And I mean, he's definitely older. And Jackson Dart, I don't know, the preseason he looked good. The things that I've heard about him in the offseason, it feels like any day now he's gonna steal the job.
Mhm.
And the things that I've been reading and hearing on sports radio and things like that is that as soon as he gets in, Neighbors' value should go up even more. So
Really?
I don't know. What are your thoughts? You don't agree with that?
I don't know at all what to expect out of Jackson Dart. I don't know if he was their offensive line, it's just not a great franchise. I think Russell Wilson like gives him a floor of like he's a low end wide receiver 1 pretty much like is his floor with Russell Wilson. With Jackson Dart, their offense could be terrible. You just don't know with rookie quarterbacks. And I don't see him dramatically. He doesn't have a lot of room to go up, but I feel like he would have room to go down. That would be my concern.
Yeah, I get that. 11 targets is a lot. Um, I should see if my friend Shaq's free and we could get him on here. But one thing I wanted to talk about, these young quarterbacks look incredible. Like, I feel like normally it's like a changing of the guard. You're getting the older guys that we've known about for years. The younger guys are coming in. And I feel like there's been a few years here and there where it's like we get 1 or 2. I feel like there's like 6 guys. Like, Jaden Daniels looks great.
Oh yeah.
You've got Caleb Williams looks great. JG McCarthy, it's only 1 game, but he looked calm. I believe in Cam Ward, Michael Penix. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Bo
Hmm.
Nix. I mean, I could
But
just listing them off.
I do think quarterback play across the NFL, if you go back pretty much any time, there's more like quarterbacks who can do more things with their legs and their arms. Like let's just take Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray would probably most of the time be like a top 5 quarterback and like most of the time that I've been watching football. Just good arm, good legs, just like a talented guy, makes plays, doesn't turn the ball over, and I don't think anyone talks about him as even a top 10 quarterback. So I think
Yeah.
overall across the board there's better play. I think teams are quicker to move on from quarterbacks. It used to be like if you draft this guy, he's at least staying your entire rookie contract even if he's terrible. Now it's like 1 year, 2 years. Really, really, like Anthony Richardson, he was the number 4 overall pick, and how many games has he actually really started? And they're playing Daniel Jones. So I think teams are more inclined to find the 32 best quarterbacks in the NFL, take more chances, draft more guys. I think the incentive of rookie contracts for quarterbacks is a big deal too, where some of these teams are able to build much more quality teams around, like, Penix and Atlanta. Atlanta was able to go sign whoever they wanted. They traded away future picks to add talent to the team now. So I think in general, quarterback play is going to continue to improve in regards to that. You want to make our picks for this week? All right, I got it pulled up, so I'll read them and then you just select them. Sound good?
Let's do it.
I'm excited for this Thursday night game. Green Bay Packers, Washington Commanders. Laramie Tunsil, Micah Parsons, Jaden Daniels, Jordan Love. This is going to be a really good game. I think Thursday nights always can throw stuff off and you can end up with really weird, ugly games, but I think this is going to be a good game. Do you have a feeling either way?
I want to go Packers, but what are you feeling?
I think Packers are the better team, probably, top to bottom, but Daniels is such a wild card. What he can do with his legs, winning these, Hail Mary games. He's one of those players that's kind of hard to vote against at the end of the game. So, I think we get to see where the Packers actually that much better than the Lions. I think so. I don't know. I'm down for the Packers.
Whatever you feel most confident in, because that one I could go
I
either way.
really could either. I really could. I have
Yeah,
a
let's go
51.
Packers.
51% confidence in the Packers.
Let's do it.
All right, Cleveland Browns versus Baltimore Ravens. I think I don't even have to ask you. We can just lock that one in. Joe Flacco
Yep.
gets a revenge win over the Baltimore Ravens. I'm kidding.
Yep.
Oh man. Should
Yeah.
Dylan Gabriel comes in the second half in that game because they're down by so much, maybe?
I can see that. Shador will be also a healthy scratch again.
It's a division game. AFC North is such a brutal division. Those teams always play each other so tough. So maybe they actually have to win it on a Justin or whoever. Who's their kicker now? Justin Tucker isn't in the NFL.
That's so true.
Tyler or something? I don't remember. All right.
That's a
Either
great
way,
question.
let's go Ravens by at least a point. Jacksonville Jaguars, Cincinnati Bengals.
Let's see here. And it's Tyler Loop. Yeah, you were right, Tyler. Okay, Jags and Bengals. Bengals looked good. I'm going to go...
Bengals won 17-16 against the Browns.
Sorry, I said Bengals look good. Jags looked good, but I'm going Bengals. You could make a case it does take Burrow time to kind of like ramp up, but I don't know. I feel like they're going to have a better game this next week. And it's in Cincy.
It's in Cincy. That is a factor. Oh, okay. We can go Cincy.
Well, no. If you're feeling confident in Jag, let's go Jag. You like Liam Cohen?
I do. I think the Bengals defense is terrible. I think the Jags are going to be able to score points. Is the Jags defense good enough to stop the Bengals? If Burrow's off and the offense is as off as they were week one and they keep that trend going, I think the Bengals are the better team, but I think this week I might pick the Jags if I had to bet a dollar. Does that make sense?
Yeah. All right, I'm locking in the Jags then.
I think the Jags are better than the Browns, and I think they barely beat the Browns.
Okay, I like it.
All right, Giants, Cowboys. Here's my hot take. CeeDee Lamb has close to 200 yards receiving in this game.
Mr. Dud himself.
Mr. Dud himself.
Yeah, my hot take is Dallas starts 0-2.
Ooh, Giants win.
But I don't know. The Giants looked bad, but can they look worse? Like, would they do that 2 weeks in a row? I don't know. I think there's a possibility Jackson Dart starts as early as this week or the next week.
I think they already said Wilson's starting. That doesn't mean he doesn't get pulled, but this week.
Yeah. I mean, it's in Dallas. Like, I feel like everything makes me want to choose Dallas. It just makes sense. But an 0-2 start after the Parsons trade would just be awesome.
You're not a Cowboys fan. I would say Cowboys, but
I'm choosing the Cowboys.
Okay, I think the Cowboys win.
Okay.
Not pretty, not well, but
yep, but they do. Okay, Chicago and Detroit.
I might lean Chicago. Ben Johnson wants to get revenge. Not revenge, but he wants to show his ex-boss.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a bloodbath because I feel like he very much wanted to stay in the division when he went to the Bears. And he wanted to beat the Lions.
I can't believe I would pick the Lions to be 0-2.
Crazy. I still think they have a chance to make playoffs, but their division is going to be tough.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they definitely have a chance.
Yeah.
All right. Who do you pick? What's your leaning?
I'm going Bears. They looked really good. I just think the Vikings are an incredible team. Yeah, I think I got to go Bears.
I think that Ben Johnson's ready for everything that the Lions defense is going to play. He's practiced against that defense for such a long time. I think Caleb Williams scores 4 touchdowns and looks like the team looks really good. So he knows what Jared Goff likes to do and what he doesn't like to do. That's going to be a tough one.
Yep, agreed.
So, and he's had this game circled for the last 6 months.
Well, absolutely. Yeah, no, the storylines there, I feel good with that.
Lions 0-2, heard it here first.
Yep, Lions 0-2. All right, next up, Patriots, Dolphins. That feels like an easy one to choose, but maybe I'm wrong. It is a division game.
I think we find out if Miami's as bad as they are.
Yep.
New England doesn't have a great pass rush. That's going to make it a little bit easier too. We'll have a little bit of time. Tyreek Hill.
Harold Landry looked so good. Former Tennessee Titan. My goodness. I don't know if you saw him at all.
No,
for the Patriots.
Really, I didn't see that.
Yeah, let me just pull
He's always been a good pass rusher. He's not like that tier 1, but he's always been a quality pass rusher.
Yeah.
All right, so you're picking Patriots. All right.
Yep, Patriots.
New England did not look as good as I thought they were going to look against the Raiders.
Listen to Harold Landry's stats, by the way. Last week against the Raiders, he had 3 tackles plus an assist. He had 2.5 sacks, 3 tackles for loss. He had a forced fumble. I mean, he just He went off. I'm in a league, a 32 team league, which is one of my favorite fantasy leagues that I'm in. And you have every position. And so he's
Like
one of
2
my,
defensive ends, 2 defensive tackles, 3 linebackers.
okay, not that crazy, but
I was
like
about to
you'll
say, might
have
be
each
amazing.
position. Yeah,
Like
like
a
a
defensive end,
linebacker, a
a
corner.
okay.
Yep.
So he win you a game?
He put up so many points. He was my top scorer. Yeah.
Wow.
And so, which was awesome because I've always loved him. Boston College, and then he comes to Tennessee,
Mhm.
and then he goes to Vrabel. He joins Vrabel in New England, because Vrabel was his coach here in Tennessee. So, anyway, I think with him on the team, I think, and with Vrabel being a defensive-minded coach, I think that Miami could look really bad this week.
If Miami doesn't make this a game and lays an egg against the Patriots, it's going to be a long year.
Yep, it's gonna be bad. All right, next one: 49ers and Saints in New Orleans.
All right, let's pretend it's Mac Jones starting with no George Kittle, no Juwan Jennings, no Brandon Ayuk. Who do you pick
That's a
in that?
different story.
Who do you pick in that situation?
Christian McCaffrey over everybody.
They load up the box. He averages 2 yards per carry.
Yeah,
He only averaged like 3 yards per carry, I think, this week. He didn't
I
put up a
mean,
crazy.
that is true, and this is a home game for New Orleans in their dome. Like,
If it's Brock Purdy, they win ugly. Like they didn't look great against Seattle,
yep.
and granted, you were down. You lost 2 weapons to start the game, but I don't think it's a high scoring game.
So you're going Saints?
No, but maybe. Oh man, I would not be surprised if the Saints won this game.
Let's go Saints. It feels fun. It's a home game. Feels like an upset.
All right,
I like it.
35% confidence.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Bills, Jets. I think the Jets score a lot of points in this game, and I think they run the ball. The Bills have not historically been great at stopping the run. Brees Hall look good. Justin Fields. I think they give them problems, but I don't think that Josh Allen loses to the Jets.
No, that's an easy one. The Bills win. Okay, next one: Seattle and Pittsburgh. That feels easy too. Feels like it's a Pittsburgh win, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say easy, but yeah, Pittsburgh wins. 2-0. Pittsburgh's 2-0. Aaron Rodgers. Are the Steelers sleeper Super Bowl picks for you?
Not for me, no. But
Okay.
if they go 4-0, I might start considering it. But
Okay.
I think, I mean, every year I like to make a bet right after the previous season on who is going to win the Super Bowl. So in April, I made a bet for the Ravens to win it all, and I think I'm pretty locked in on them still. Even
Yeah.
though they lost to the Bills, they just looked so
Yeah.
good. I don't know how you stop Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry when they're on. Zay Flowers looked good. Like,
D-Hop.
yeah, D-Hop. Oh my gosh, just a signature one-handed grab. Yeah, they're for sure my Super Bowl pick, but I think it's going to be them and the Packers.
Packers.
I think it's going to be them and the Packers in the Super Bowl. I think it could be the Vikings. They looked really good. These are all like, that's kind of off of a week 1 response. Before the season, especially when the Packers got Micah Parsons, I felt good about them. But I don't think I have there's no scenario where I see Pittsburgh in the Super Bowl, but they could. It'd be crazy.
I'm going to say Ravens Bucks Super Bowl.
That makes sense that you would say that, but
I'm
also
a homer.
but also it's true. I mean, the Bucks look good. And I don't mean to dog on them by saying the Packers, but
No.
I mean, the Bucks don't have a lot of holes though. You're right.
I don't see the NFC having, like, I think there's 5 or 6 teams that
Have a
come
chance.
playoffs, who's healthy and who's hot. That's really what it's going to come down to. Like, do the
Yeah.
Eagles stay healthy? Then they could possibly repeat. Is Detroit healthy? Are the Packers healthy? Are the Bucks healthy? And I think it really could. They
Yep.
don't have, the NFC does not have the quarterbacks that the AFC has. We do not have Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. I think maybe the top 5 or 6 quarterbacks in the league play in the AFC.
Yep.
So.
So true.
All
And
right.
you didn't say Cam Ward in your list of 5 or 6 top quarterbacks. But
I got to give him more than 4 quarters before I
Yeah.
say that he's like rightly in the top 6. So
true.
all right, Rams Titans.
All right, I probably can't have a comment here, so I'll let you speak to it.
Man, it might be another 14-9 game. Your defense
be.
look good, man.
It's
I don't
in
want to pick.
Tennessee.
It's in Tennessee. Does Puka and Matthew Stafford and if Devontae Adams and Matthew Stafford can get more on the same page, they were not on the same page. I'm picking the Rams.
Yep. I
think you picked when you did your they win 10 games. I think you picked the Rams beating the Titans.
we should look back at my pick because maybe I need to stick to what I said. I did say loss. Man. Well, but I said 1-1.
Don't be disappointed like it happened. Yeah, but
so that's the thing.
honestly,
I said 1-1.
Can I be honest? I don't think week 1 could have been any closer. I can't believe it was only an 8-point game and you like had the ball last drive. Like,
yeah. All right. I'm going to go Rams with you, but that's the hardest thing I've ever done. and I'm telling you right
The
I'm telling
hardest
you
thing. Oh,
I'm
I
telling
love
you
it.
right now, I feel very confident that we have a chance to win that game. But
Yeah,
I'm gonna choose
I
Rams.
don't disagree. I don't disagree.
Yeah,
All right, Panthers Cardinals. Ugh.
terrible game. Who's watching that?
No one. The moms of the quarterbacks. That's about it. Cardinals Panthers in Arizona. Man, I might say Panthers. I might say Cardinals. You get to pick. What's the
Well,
money line? Someone look up what the money line is just to.
let's see here. Cardinals, Panthers, money line.
Panthers offense did not look good against a Jags defense that I don't think is going to be great. So,
So it looks like Cardinals are minus 300.
all right, let's go Cardinals.
Yeah, that's what I'm. So I went ahead and was just clicking on all the games to see where we differ, and I said the Cards for that one.
Okay,
Cardinals.
that sounds good. Broncos Colts might actually be a good game. What do you think?
After watching the Broncos last week against us, I'm really excited to. I'm sure you feel this way as a Bucks fan. I'm really excited to see how the Broncos play this week against a team other than us, and I'm excited to see how the Titans play because you start to get more of an idea of what the teams look like.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful that the Broncos beat the Colts because not only are the Colts in our division, but it'd be cool if they like blow out the Colts and it's like, wow, okay, we had a chance to beat that team.
Yeah.
And the Colts, crushed the Dolphins. So that would be a fun story. So I really think the Broncos win. It is in Indy. Bo Nix didn't look incredible.
Bo Nix is not going to turn the ball over 3 or 4 times again. He
Yeah.
did that once early in the season last year, and then he was like turnover free, running the ball. He figures it out. Denver wins. You're
Yeah,
happy.
agreed. Denver. Okay, Eagles, Chiefs. This is a Super Bowl rematch in Kansas City. I know who I'm
Man,
picking. I'm curious to see who you pick.
I think without Worthy, without Rice, I might lean Eagles.
Okay. I'm leaning Chiefs. I think what you said week 1 about Mahomes this year and how he's on a revenge tour, I think
That was when I was saying with Worthy, Hollywood,
I know.
Kelsey, and they added some tackles that can actually kind of keep him upright.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, he's back down to Hollywood Brown, and who's his number 2 wide receiver?
Juju.
Juju.
I think the Eagles could be one of the best teams in the league. I want to choose Mahomes. He's in Kansas City. It just has the storyline for it.
All right, Kansas City. I'm
But
good with that.
let's see what the money line is because that is an interesting
It'll
point.
probably be on the Eagles.
It's got to be right. Minus 115 for the Eagles. So,
It's a close one.
yep.
All right, let's go. Let's go Chiefs.
Okay.
Mini upset. Mahomes is not starting 0-2,
No.
right? So Mahomes. All right.
Okay.
Falcons, Vikings. Back-to-back primetime games for the Vikings.
Crazy.
JJ McCarthy versus Michael Penix.
It's a good matchup.
Is Drake London playing? Is Daryl Mooney playing?
Yeah.
That Vikings defense is too good.
Yeah,
I'm going Vikings.
And it's in Minnesota. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't see how they lose.
I think JJ McCarthy starts to figure it out more. If Christian Darsha, or however you say his name, that left tackle is back this week, which I think he probably is. I think their running game is better. Their play action's better.
Yeah.
I think the Vikings offense looks better, and then they get Jordan Addison in another week. So,
yeah, agreed. Okay. Your team, Tampa and Houston.
I think I originally picked them losing this game.
Yeah, did I put your...
But after week 1, I feel a little more confident in us winning.
Okay.
So you get to pick because I'm a homer.
I chose Tampa.
You chose Tampa. I thought the Texans looked not good. Their offensive line looked bad. Their offense did not look great.
They lost Laramie Tunzel. I can't believe they let him go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Tampa wins for sure. I'm super excited. I love seeing the Texans be bad, and them starting 0-2 sounds amazing. We probably will start 0-2 as well, which stinks, but at least we're not the worst. We're tied for the worst. Yeah, I think Tampa wins for sure. They look too good.
Chargers, Vegas, probably Chargers.
Yep, that's who I've got. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh, Justin Herbert. I mean, it'll be fun. Jim Harbaugh versus Pete Carroll.
If they are that aggressive on offense all year long, going for it on 4th downs, passing the ball on 1st down, they're going to be great. And I just wish they didn't lose their left tackle before the season started, because that offensive line is good and powerful. And if you add a Pro Bowl left tackle into it,
yep,
they'd be beating some people up.
Them and the Bills and the Ravens are like teams that I watch and I'm like, man, I wish that was my team. Like
Mm,
it is just so fun to see them. Like the Bills in that game coming back, they were going for 2-point conversions left and right. And that's
yeah.
just so fun. Like it's just so fun for a fan to sit there and watch that. So yeah, so many fun games week 1. Well, I locked in our picks. I feel pretty good about it.
Awesome, awesome. Well, anything else you want to talk about this week on episode 2 of Fantasy Football Anonymous?
I don't think so. I think I'm excited to see week 2. Everyone's going to have some crazy, takes just like week 1. Things happen, people overreact, whether it's wanting to fire a coach or whatever. But like fantasy wise, I think there's a lot of overreactions. There's going to be a lot of waiver wire pickups. There's going to be a lot of trades. And I like your idea of after week 1, sell high, like sell someone's value that you're maybe not like super high on long term and get somebody else. Like go for a dud, sell a stud, go for a dud. I like that. So, um, yeah, I guess last thing, is there anyone on the waiver wire that you're going for in a dynasty league? You're stretching way down because Harold Fannon's not there. Like, who's somebody you're putting on your team right now
For a
that's available?
dynasty, I
Dynasty
don't.
that's available.
The backup tight end for the 49ers is the only dynasty player I have on any waivers
Yeah,
for tomorrow, just because.
Conjus or whatever.
Um. Yeah, just because like in Dynasty most is just picked through. His Jawan Johnson, that's the only player in my redraft leagues that I have on any waivers, I think.
Yep.
Oh, and Hollywood Brown. I have Hollywood Brown in any redraft league that he's available in. He got 16 targets, and against the Eagles, they're gonna
That's
have to throw
insane.
the ball. He might get 16 targets again. And so he had like 50 yards receiving on the 10 catches or something like crazy low, but in a PPR league, that's a flex starter this week and
Oh,
until Worthy's
absolutely.
back. So
Absolutely.
Hollywood Brown.
All right. And
Enjoy.
last question, just real rapid fire. Both of us give our prediction. Who do we think's the top fantasy scorer by the end of the year after week 1?
Bijan or Christian McCaffrey.
You think
Derrick
so?
Henry. Derrick Henry.
And it depends on what type of scoring. But if we're in a PPR Superflex league, tight end premium,
Yeah. I mean, McCaffrey played, I thought, bad, and that offense was terrible, and he scored 27 fantasy points. Like, I think he's back to being a 25 point every week player as long as he stays healthy. I know he hurt his calf and whatever, but I think it's one of the 3 running backs. Derrick Henry, Bijan, they all looked.
yeah. I mean, quarterbacks put up points though too. Like I
Oh, are
think
you
like
talking? Okay, yeah,
I'm talking
Josh Allen
overall. Yeah. Okay.
Josh Allen or Lamar are going to score the most fantasy points, whichever
Yeah.
one of them stays healthy. It's the 2 of them every year,
Yeah.
and
It's gonna.
having them in a redraft league or in any league is like having an extra player basically.
Yep.
If you're
Agreed.
in a super flex league and you have the 2 of them, I would be surprised how you lose certain weeks. Like they probably combined for like 80 points.
80 points. Yep. Insane. Yeah,
So
I would agree. If we're talking overall, the 2 of them, if we're talking wide receiver, running back,
tight end.
it's gonna be McCaffrey, Derek. I'm really high on Malik Neighbors. All the targets that he got, like I don't know. I think he could have an incredible year, but that's like a bold take. Like I think there's
So
players
like
that are more.
I think offenses run the ball less and throw it more to their running backs. That's like kind of become the trend.
Yeah,
Jahmyr Gibbs had 10 catches.
insane.
That alone, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan, he had 25 yards rushing and 100 yards receiving, I think,
Yep,
in week 1. So those like Bijan, Devon Achane had as many catches as Malik Neighbors had last year.
insane.
So it's hard for a wide receiver. You have to have a Jamar Chase special season, and that's just not a normal thing to
Yep,
outscore the top running backs in a PPR league. So
yeah,
I think it's going to be a running back.
yeah. No, that's true. That's a good point. Well, I think that's it for this week, and we'll see how our predictions go. I feel pretty good about our picks outside of maybe one game,
Yeah.
Titans
All
game,
right.
but
If you listen to our podcast and you made it all the way here, you must be related to us. If you're not related to us and you've made it this far, we want to hear from you. Let us know the subjects and the things we talked about that you liked, the things you didn't like, things you feel like we should be talking about if it's a fantasy podcast. Are we doing too much of something, too little? Do you think the graphic that we have on our Twitter looks stupid? Let us know, comment, send us messages. We want to hear from you. Thank you for listening. Share the podcast and have a great week and good luck breaking your addiction to fantasy
yes,
football.
tighten up.